Anyway, it's very pleased to meet you. So, Age of Reckoning, if you had to describe the film in a documentary in, I don't know, a couple of minutes, how would you sum it all up?
Go for it, Fan.
The Reckoning is about the first 6 tumultuous years of the International Criminal Court. The first international independent court to try individuals for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. So this is a film that was filmed over 6 years across 4 continents in 5 languages. That's The Reckoning. Probably the cases of the International Criminal Court that have put them on the world stage was the arrest warrant for al-Bashir in Sudan on charges of genocide in Darfur, and also the asking for the arrest of Gaddafi in Libya. But there have been many others in the Congo, in Uganda, and preliminary investigations opened in other countries around the world. So it's a paradigm shift for international justice.
Okay, what exactly was it that sort of, brought this project to fruition, and gave you the purpose, as it were, to make it?
Well, we've been making films about human rights and social justice issues for 30 years. So when we heard about the formation of the International Criminal Court, we thought this is a big idea, a very idealistic idea, and let's see what happens when it actually goes into practice. And so we decided to follow the court in its first years, and also we thought, if this court can work, it's going to work if people give it legitimacy, if there's a consensus out there for the court. So we thought a film telling that story of the court might help raise awareness of the court and help people understand this court and how it affects them in their daily lives, or say in crimes against humanity or crimes against all humanity, as the crime says. So here's a court that is designed to counter those crimes, the most horrendous crimes.
And how's the film itself sort of changed things, as it were, from previously so far, do you think? Or most helped to change?
It has helped raise awareness about the court on many different levels. In our outreach, we operate from the highest to the most grassroots level. So the film has gone out to, it's being taught in universities. It is being taught in high schools around the U.S. and elsewhere in the world. But we also have taken it, we've worked with 160 NGOs in Africa to develop special materials around the film in their campaign against impunity, which they organized against African leaders who weren't doing anything about the victims of the conflicts there. The film is used by the ICC itself to educate its own staff. It's used by the Coalition for the International Criminal Court, which goes around the world getting new countries to ratify the treaty. Curricula have been made around the film, which are available online. So in many, many ways, on many fronts.
It's quite far-reaching sort of tentacles so
It's
far.
A global court, so the outreach has to be global.
What's the most
there are many language versions as well.
Yeah, what's the most shocking revelation that you personally have witnessed throughout these 6 years during the making?
I think how the International Criminal Court has really emboldened domestic prosecution systems to move forward on their own. In many ways it's a court of last resort, and they really want to train judges and prosecutors that these are crimes that have to be looked at and they have to be dealt with in your own community.
Sure.
The court's been really bold and very forthright. The prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Luis Moreno Campo, has really forged a new paradigm for justice in the world. So that's affecting everyone, and it's a really positive development. There was very little known about the International Criminal Court. Even engaged attorneys around the world that we would talk to confused the court with the ad hoc tribunal for Yugoslavia or for Rwanda. So we made The Reckoning to be a primer so that people could have a deep understanding of the origins of the court and then be able to engage in discussion. What kind of court is it that we want for the world?
Right, the origins of the court, and also its its jurisdiction, the extent of and also the limits to its jurisdiction, so that people understand what this court can do. Because we have a site that we created called IJ Central, International Justice Central. We created it to complement the film, and really using Twitter, starting back in 2008, when Twitter was still just nascent. We developed this global conversation about international justice and the International Criminal Court, which is mapped on this Twitter site, and in real time the tweets come out from different parts of the map. So you can actually visualize a global conversation about international justice. And over the years, it's interesting to watch what people think the court can do. They want the court to go and arrest almost everybody somewhere, but it can't. So it can only take sort of the highest profile cases and hope that sets an example. And has a sort of an effect down the line.
Yeah, superb. What do you think your chances of walking away with a big prize tonight are?
20%.
Very good answer. I like that. What's your favourite of the other films?
I love Trouble the Water.
Trouble the Water is a film I know well as well. Yeah.
And I know the filmmaker, so I've seen the immense output that they have realized for outreach and engagement. And to bring the ideas to that film, especially important in the United States, that poverty exists in the United States, and we're a country where the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer.
No, thank you very much for your time. Is there briefly another project that what's the next project that you're working on?
The next project, you want to go ahead?
Actually, The Reckoning is the second film in a quartet of films about human rights from a transitional justice perspective. So our first film was State of Fear, based on the findings of the Peruvian Truth Commission. The second film, The Reckoning, the battle for the International Criminal Court. The third film, which is now in theaters, is called Granito, How to Nail a Dictator. And it's the story of how a film we made in the 1980s is being used as forensic evidence in a genocide case. And our next film is going to be called Memoryscape. It's about collective memory, how societies decide what they're going to remember and what they're going to forget. And what they remember, how will that be memorialized? What will the narrative of the country be?
And how will it affect policy decisions in the present?
Fantastic. Sounds extremely, extremely interesting. Anyway, good luck tonight. Thanks for your time.
Thank you,
All right,
Marco.
thanks so much.
Thank you.